Hello, welcome back to the channel. Now I know I haven't recorded for a few days and I haven't been uploading, but I am back and I'm very happy with the most recent video. Got over, I think it's 400 views now, which is really good. So thank you for everyone who's watched that video, or anyone who's also come back. So today we're doing another PC video, like the previous one where I did a £600 build. I've done another build here. It is a PC part picker. I'm really sorry guys, I can't be putting PCs together right now, but or fixing PCs at that. But I'm doing a £400 build. Now this is a real tight budget. There are certain ways that you can get another PC and do it cheaper, but this is built from piece to piece, brand new components, £400. It just goes over the £400 limit. I'm not including peripherals or monitors, it's just the base PC itself, building that for £400. Now I have just gone over a little bit, I think it's by about £16. Yeah, £16, £16.50 to be exact. But yeah, it's a good board, a good PC setup. So yeah, so let's get into this. So the first thing we've got, as I always go to the CPU. Now we've got an AMD Ryzen 3 3200G. Now it's a quad-core CPU, part of the third gen of Ryzen CPUs, and this comes with a fan. I think it's a stealth fan. I think. And it runs at a core clock speed of 3.6 GHz and a boost clock of 4 GHz. Now I've explained this in every other video, or explain it very quickly. A boost clock is basically when the computer tells it that it's running a specific program, and it can put more power into that specific program if it's not running more than like 3 programs, for example. So it can go up to 4 GHz. It's a quad core, which is pretty good for a £400 PC. And yeah, it's on the Ryzen, it's a Ryzen 3, so it's in the Ryzen series. It's going to be very reliable and good, and it's only £75. It could go lower, and I could have gone into things like Pentiums and other stuff like that, but that wasn't, I want something that's going to be able to kind of keep up with the newer games and not fall behind in categories, and possibly be able to be upgraded in the future, blah blah blah. Now, matched with that 3200G, we have gone for a motherboard. I haven't really looked into this motherboard too much. There is another motherboard that you can get if you have a little bit more flex in your budget. So this is the A320MA Pro Max Micro ATX motherboard. Now this only has 2 slots on the board. For DDR4 RAM, and it's a bit of a shame because you want that extra space to be able to expand. The good thing about it though, it has got an M2 slot just in case you want to have an M2 SSD, and you've got the PCIe slot, so you can fit in a graphics card. It runs the 3rd gen Ryzen CPUs. However, there will be there is a BIOS update necessary. Getting these kind of boards at these prices with the Ryzen 3 is always going to require a BIOS update, unless you go a little further into your research, or you put a bit more money into your budget, in which you can get something like a B450 Max, which basically will, and it could be a micro ATX or a full ATX board, but you can get a Max version which doesn't require a BIOS update, but these ones will. But if you have also got a little extra money, I would also recommend maybe getting a B450, because they're going to be a bit more flexible for you, and they're going to be a bit faster than this current board that I'm looking at. There is a micro ATX B450 board, so I would say have a look at that. instead of the A320M. If you have got a bit more flexibility, it's slightly more expensive, but yeah. So that's the motherboard we've gone for. So it's got everything that we need. For memory, for RAM, we've just gone for a basic Crucial Ballistics set of RAM. It's running at 2400 megahertz, which most people will probably be like, oh, you're not running your Ryzen CPU, 3rd gen CPU on a 3000 plus megahertz RAM, and yeah, that is true. We're not going to get that max capacity out of the RAM and the CPU, but with the budget you have to limit on what you can get, so we've had to stick with this 2400 speed. Now I wish I could get better, but this is a very good. I've heard good things from Crucial. They're not a terrible company, they're reliable. It's just the speed isn't great on the stick. And if you also like I said, if you have still got like, there's ways that you can make this build much better if you have like another £60 laying about. But for some people it's not in that case. Like £400 is a lot of money for some people. In fact, it's a lot of money to me. It's just the fact that I would spend quite a lot on my PC anyway. But yeah, if you haven't got the money, this is a great stick setup. And I've gone for two 4GB sticks in this scenario, because then you can get your dual channeling going with the board, and you won't have you'll be getting faster speeds rather than going for 1.8 stick. It may be cheaper in some scenarios, but just I would say go with the duals always. We've gone for an SSD. Now this can go either way. I've gone for an SSD. You can go for a HDD if you want, but to me I think that an SSD is better, especially with the way that they're coming up, and they've got better over the years. If you're trying to go for a bit more of a budget, you could of course go for a hard drive, and you can get 1 terabyte for about £30 and stick that in your computer, but you're going to get slower loading times and everything like that. You can run these Kingston A400 SSDs are great. I've got one in my PC currently. They're fairly fast. You've got good loading times and everything like that with them. And yeah, the downside of a hard drive is that obviously you're going to get more capacity for the price, but you're going to have much slower speeds, and that will be for your operating system and everything. So on this, I would say you're able to get your operating system on there, maybe 1-2 games, maybe 3 depending on the games you're playing, and every other bit of software that you're using will be able to run on this kind of drive. Now would also say, if you are going down this SSD route like I have in this build, do look in the future, maybe save up until you got like a spare 30 quid laying about, and get a hard drive just for any additional storage in the background or whatever, because you will need it, especially if you're doing anything other than gaming or anything like that. If you have files that you need to save, get a hard drive, and also get a hard drive for backup, because that is essential, because if this breaks you will lose all your content. So yeah, make sure that you have a backup. Buy one. You can get a 30 quid one, or like laying about all the time. They're always there. So we're going on to the next thing, one of the main things. Now I've gone for the rule of basically half the budget on the video card, kind of, and I've gone for a 1050 Ti GTX. So you've got that really powerful performance you're going to be getting from the NVIDIA graphics card. You also get some of the benefits out of NVIDIA. You've got 4GB, which is obviously really good for this kind of budget build. You're not going for that 2GB VRAM. So you've got that. You've got dual fans. It's quite a large graphics card. It's going to put out the performance and the power that you need, and it's just going to do really good. It's got a core clock of 1341, and you can boost that up if you want to. I'm sure this graphics card could handle a little bit of boosting, and yeah, it's gonna fit in the case and everything. It's gonna look really good, and yeah, it's just a good graphics card. The 1050 Ti has always been good, and you can't go wrong. If I was gonna say, if you wanted to go down a different route, you could also get the get a RX 570, very similar in style and performance, but it's not necessarily something I would say go for, because they can be a little higher in price compared to the TIs. But yeah, great graphics card for the system, runs quite a lot of things. I will be showing you just a list of games that this system will be able to run at the end of the video. But yeah, so this is a graphics card we're going for. It's £131. Of course, you could drop majority of these these pieces and components prices down quite a lot. For example, in my build, I have a used graphics card. I have an RX 580 in my build that I got off eBay from someone who was using it for data mining, which means it's only been used for a little bit, and then they've just said, oh, I need to sell it. I got mine for 150, and an RX 580 usually sells for about £200, around that, about 180 maybe. So like, you're going to be saving about 30 quid, so you might be able to get this TI for even cheaper, maybe £100, and that leaves you with a bit more flexibility, gives you that £30 that you might be able to get a hard drive, or a faster memory, or different motherboard, or some other things. So we've gone for looking at the case, getting to the end of the build now. We've got this BitPhoenix Nova. I went for a mid-tower case. I like to have my PCs large. I don't really like to focus on having a small PC necessarily. It's just something that's it's just personal preference. There's nothing wrong with having a small PC. I just don't preferably like it. I like having a large PC, a lot of room to do cable management and everything like that, because a small PC can get quite convoluted and claustrophobic in a way. But this is a nice all white PC. You can get it in PC case, but you can get it in black. It's quite slick. I haven't got many images of it here, but this is what it looks like really. You can get it with I think a tempered glass panel. But yeah, this is the case that we're going for. It's quite spacious on the inside, like I said, and yeah, it'll be great for and also if you want to be expanding in the future, then you can expand with this case for sure. But now we'll just go into the final bit. I've gone for only a 400 watt power supply. You've not got too much power demanding stuff, but it does have the risk of going and being too small amount of wattage provided. Also, you've got the whole point of it. This is not a this is not a modular power supply, which means that you won't be able to adjust and swap out cables that you don't want, and there's going to be cables about that you're not going to be using and everything like that. So you can't really adjust what you need, and it's just a bit messy for cable organisation. You might be able to find a way to hide these things, but it's not got that necessarily. But all in all, it's a big quiet power supply, which means the fan is going to be running very silently, speed quiet are amazing for fan builds, so this isn't going to overheat, you're not going to get anything bad. It's 80 plus bronze certified, which means all the components inside are going to be great. You're not going to have any issues with the power supply. I really haven't gone out of my way to cheap out on the power supply on this build. I could have, but you don't want to do that because that can fry all of your components, and that is what you don't want. So yeah, this is the power supply we've gone for. You can obviously go for different ones and have a look around, but yeah, this is all round the build. It says warning, these parts potential issues and incompatible. So if we just go down, excuse the thunder, if you can hear that, but what we've got here is that it's saying that the chipset motherboard may need a BIOS update prior to using Picasso CPUs. This is basically just saying, look, we have a situation where you might need a BIOS update because of the new because of the CPU. So yeah, and as I said previous, like, we won't need much wattage going into this. You're not pulling loads of power out. You've got 217 wattage going into this power into this PC, and you've got a 400 watt power supply. So you've still got a large amount of flexibility in where you're going to be going with this with the power. So you could easily upgrade it for future reference, but this is all good. I will jump into a quick thing in which I will show you what PC games can be run on it. So we've got all the information popped in on this website. So this is PC Game Benchmark. It's not a sponsor or anything. It's just a website that I use when building PCs to find out what games I'll be able to run, and it goes from like popular games and everything like that. So we just put in the information, you show what platform you're on, what processor you have, and what graphics card you have, and how much memory you're running, and it will show you loads of games. So it will give you games that are compatible with your PC setup. It's not saying that you can run it to max. You might be able to run it on the minimum, and it will say that you can run it. But there's a series of games. So there's GTA 5, huge game. Everyone plays it. It's a great game, large, really fun. You've got Fortnite, obviously it's going to be able to run that, so that's a battle royale that you're going to be able to play. You'll definitely be able to play it on competitive style gameplay, even on possibly higher graphics. Valorant, brand new release coming from Riot Games, a really good game, much like CSGO, kind of search and destroy style game type. You'll be able to play that. You've got Apex Legends, another game like Fortnite, battle royale game, really fun. Makes me feel like when I'm playing it's kind of old school. Now Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm not necessarily believing that you'd be able to play this. It's a very high graphic intensive game. Not necessarily something you'd be able to play. League of Legends, you will definitely be able to play on this system. I used to play League of Legends on a Packard build that I had back in the day. Didn't have any graphics card or anything like that, so you 100% be able to play that. Minecraft, medium graphics, no shaders unfortunately, but you will be able to play that. PUBG, you'll be able to play that. No way will you be able to play Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I struggle with Modern Warfare right now on high graphics for my system, so I don't think you guys will be able to play it. I'm not saying that it's unplayable, but Modern Warfare, the brand new one, I don't think you'll be able to play it. Personally, Sims 4 for sure. Things like this. Witch 3, it's been out for a couple of years now, so you'd probably be able to play it on this system. Rust for sure, you would definitely be able to play. Rainbow Six Siege, yep, definitely. Dota, yep. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, possibly. I know it's got a high graphics intensity, but yeah, a lot of these games you'd be able to play without any trouble. There is another thing that you can do where you'll go on a website, and the website will allow you to download a thing which will then read your PC, and it will tell you if you can play that game or not, if you hit the minimum requirements or the required requirements. Like, you will be able to play all of these. It will show you what games you will specifically be able to play, but PC Game Benchmark is the website I use if I haven't built a PC. But yeah, these are all the games to be able to play on it. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. If you really you like the video, please like. If you didn't like it, dislike. Comment down below with anything in your opinions, anything I could have swapped out in the PC build. And yeah, please subscribe, that would be really good, and share the video. Thank you guys, thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you with your build. And if you're trying to build a £400 PC, good luck. I managed to build a list, so I hope you guys can build it yourself. Bye.